Hustle Tide Podcast. I'm here with Jeff from Fine Line Auto. What's good, my boy?
What's good?
Appreciate you coming on the show,
Sure,
man.
no problem.
So, really, this show is about, I reach out to different hustlers that I know,
Okay.
people that I know is running businesses, things like that. And I want to really show the youth and people out there, like, there's different things that you can do other than just rapping and hooping. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming from where we come from, that's pretty much all niggas know, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, trying to show them a different way. And like I respect what you got going on here. You selling cars and you working for yourself, at the end of the day. So that's something that I always respected. So I'm like, let me bring him on and
Appreciate it.
So yeah, tell us about yourself. Like what made you wanna open up your own car lot, sell cars and things of that nature?
It was really just like growing up, you younger, you in the hood, you see a bunch of nice cars coming through, some revved up, some foreign, some, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there, when I was younger, I just always had a thing for cars. And it's like, it got to a point where graduated high school, ain't play sports, wasn't doing nothing. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to see about this, and it just, I like to say, I guess it was my purpose because it worked out for me. So,
Yeah.
it's not just stuck with it, stay consistent, and now I'm here. I'm still going, still learning, but that's really like how I got into it. I just always had a love for cars. So,
That's what, and that's like the core of it. You got a passion
yeah.
for actually being around cars and things like that. So before you even open up the lot, what were some things that you had to do to even like get to this point? Because you have your own facility, you have your own building.
Yeah.
The lot's filled with cars. So like, what was that first step that you had to take in order to
Um,
open your car lot?
well, the first thing was really like, I had to go through the process of getting a dealer's license. But before I had a dealer's license, though, like I sold cars like on the side, like just learned the game a little bit. Then I'm like, all right. But then, once you get the dealer's license stuff, it's a whole nother game now. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I just really, you know, like I literally used to walk in to dealerships and ask like, "Hey, how'd y'all do this?" Some people ain't gonna tell you, but some people point you in a direction. Oh, you gotta go down to this building and do it, and then
Yeah.
it's requirements that you gotta have a lot of this size, be able to, certain bonds and stuff. But that's why I started small before I scaled up to a bigger lot because
And,
I didn't want to, you know.
yeah. And so for the people watching, what's the dealership license? Like, how do you?
So the dealer's license is basically so you could go to dealer. They got public auctions and then you got dealer only auctions.
Mhm.
So the dealer only auctions is usually the auctions that people that got car lots and dealer's license to go to where you can get cars sometime at a better wholesale price. It's dealers only, like for people that's really in the game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
really like this is what you do every
Mhm.
day versus the public ones, they only have them on certain days versus the dealer only auctions, they every single day. So
Mhm.
it's like them is for, people that's really doing what they doing.
Yeah.
So
And is it beneficial to have like prior relationships with these people, you know, before even getting into the game, or is it something that you just jumped into and you like, yo, I'm gonna just
yeah.
build connections and relationships as I go?
I ain't gonna really I had connections, like I got a mentor that's in the car business. Like he kind of guided me. He's a few steps ahead of me. Like he's, but he's been doing it for some time. Then I
Mhm.
know other people too that have been doing it for time. So obviously, I went to them first, especially because I know them. Like before the
Yeah.
car stuff, I know them personally. So I'm like, hey, they guide me in the directions of which way I needed to go. They didn't give it to me, but they just guided me in a direction. Like this, what you got to do. Bang, and then I just took it from there, started the journey, and a bunch of hiccups and bumps in the road, but that come with anything you try and do, especially if it's going to generate you some money or got a purpose behind it. So,
So what were some of the bumps that you faced and some of the challenges, even opening up the lot and really starting your business early on? Because it's like, you know, you had a mentor, you had some people
yeah,
that you knew, but it's like, some things people can help you avoid, and then some things you got to kind of find out on your own.
yeah.
So what was that process like?
The main thing I say for real is like, I started everything when I was 21, like 21 going on 22. So me being that young, like for me, it was like the thrill of it, like the journey. But for like when I'm calling banks and stuff, like trying to get funding, trying to do a lot of stuff, I couldn't really like. I mean, my credit was good, but I don't have nothing on my. At that time, I didn't have nothing. Like I'm 20, just hit
Yeah,
21. Like I'm
yeah,
fresh out of,
yeah.
you
Young
know what I
boys for
mean? Like
real.
I'm young boy for real. Like everybody, they like, yeah, we like what you're doing, but at the end of the day, they want to see that history and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was probably like my biggest obstacle. But I just had to use my own money. Like, so what I did, I just like I had like three of my own cars. Like I just sold my cars and stuff, and I mean, I just invested it, believed in myself, and I'm like, I needed some bread, so I'm
Yeah,
like, I mean, I had a little bit of bread, but I'm like, this ain't enough to start a business.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I remember at the time I had a what did I have? I had a Lexus. I had a GS.
Hmm.
I sold the GS. I had an ES, and I had another little car, like a little bucket. I just sold all my cars and stuff, and I just went down to my one little bucket and got to it. Like, it's just what it
Sacrifices.
is. Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people, I feel like they start businesses and they don't really know what they're getting into. Not saying they don't know the business that they're getting into, but more of like what comes with it.
Yeah.
The sacrifices that you got to take, the ups and downs, the losses and the stress that you go through.
Yeah.
Some days I'm pretty sure, and too, some days you feel real good about what's going on, and some days you like, yo, this shit feel fucked up. So, what
Yeah.
was the process and the feelings that went behind you, sacrificing certain things in order to, start to, achieve your dream?
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people with sacrifice, man, like you gotta have a reason behind it. Like, I mean, obviously, if you sacrifice something, there's a reason behind it. But usually, if you're willing to sacrifice, you're gonna have a better outcome. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's something little, like the littlest sacrifices sometimes can save you. So it's like it came to a point where I'm like, all right, these banks ain't fooling with me, trying to give me no funding because I'm a fresh business.
Yeah.
Only had an LLC for 2 months, which there is stuff out there where you could go and get the lending. Like you look on Instagram, everybody do credit repair and all that. But I'm
Hmm.
like, it was at a point where I'm just like, I need this bread now. Like, then it just the hustler in me just thought, I'm like, well, I do own these cars here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to. Everybody wanna stunt and all that, but I'm like,
Mhm.
you just gotta go sit it down for a minute and get right. And
Mhm.
now I'm glad I did that. I'd do it again if I had to.
And did you go to
It's a no
college?
brainer. Didn't go to college.
See, look, here's the thing, and this is what I really don't like, right? So if you went to the bank and said, "Yo, I want to go to college," they would have give you a loan for
For
$100,000.
sure.
They would have cut you that check with
Yeah.
no,
They
I
would have
mean,
paid for it.
but when you go to them and you like, "Yo, I just want like 20, 30 bands to start my own business, something that's gonna help contribute to the economy, the
They
area,
look
and
at it
things
as
like
too
that."
much of a risk.
Then they give you it's a
Hmm.
whole, well, you ain't got this right, you ain't got
Yep.
that right. Like, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, you gotta like now in business too. Like I'm almost 5 years in, like 4.5, almost 5 years. Like now that I learn, like having your finances in order is like a really, really big thing when you're in business. That's why you
mhm,
see most people, they like, oh, I got my LLC. I'm gonna start a business. They start it, but
mhm,
then you look up, you're like, damn, what happened to so and so? Like they faded away, or they just not like, yeah, you could be consistent, but having the finances in order, like you gotta know where your money's at. You gotta know, you know what I mean? You
mhm,
you gotta pay taxes at the end of the year, especially if you really generating revenue. So
mhm,
you just gotta know, like, all right, this is how much I really made. This is my bottom line. This is this. Everybody got different things, but having like a good accountant and all that,
mhm,
like it just that to me that be the difference between businesses and hobbies for real. Cause it's like
mhm,
I don't ever down nobody's business, but it's like it's just certain things that you gotta have in place and know, like if you're trying to be around for the long time and the longevity of it at the end of the day.
mhm,
So, but and then banks, I mean, now like I could get funding and stuff for banks, but it's like I done
mhm,
generated on my own cash for so long where I know how
mhm,
to leverage it to the point where it's like, all right, like I'm only getting loans if it's going to generate me more money. Like if I'm
mhm.
buying cars and stuff for myself, I'm just going to buy it cash. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's just where I be at with it now. Like I'm not getting no loans or nothing unless I know like, all right, I'm gonna get this loan, but it's gonna bring me back $1.20 or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just how you really. It's not hard. You just gotta be disciplined with it too, because you gotta remember they giving you money, but that money they giving you, you owe the money back, and that's where a lot of people they
Mm-hmm.
crash out at. Cause they think, oh, I got it, but they forget you gotta pay it back. So if it's not generating, it's honestly pointless at the end of the day.
That's a fact.
So
So, even being in like the automotive business that you're in, how do you make money, just on the cars? Like what's the process? Like one, two, three,
yeah,
you go to the lot, you get the car, well, not the lot, you go to the car show,
yeah.
the dealer shows and everything. You get the car, you bring it back, like you do your marketing and stuff like that. Like how does that
Yeah. So
what's
right
that process
now
like?
I do. I mean, I've always did. Go to dealer auctions, get cars at a good price. I mean, the game has definitely changed. Like I tell people, I've been in the game since what 2019. Like
Yeah.
that's when I got my dealer's license. So it's like when I first started in the game, like literally, I remember cars was 1,500, 800, 900.
Mm-hmm.
Now, them same cars that I used to pay 800, 1,200 for, them cars is 2 grand, 2,500.
Mm.
So it's like the market, like it makes you think like it's 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
later. Why is this car still that much? But if you look around at inflation and the way the world is right now,
Mm-hmm.
between interest rates and everything, everything's going up. So you just gotta buy smart. Like now, I've been focusing on buying a lot of like newer stuff. Like I've been trying to like 2018, 27, like
Yeah.
pretty much 2015 and up. I've been trying to buy that newer stuff because I know like how interest rates and stuff is right now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like nobody wants to pay a bunch of money for a 2008 with interest rate and all that versus you got a 2018 out here with 60,000 miles on it. Yeah, the interest
Yeah.
might be a little high, but you know what I mean? It's affordable and it's a reliable car down the road where 5 years from now that car is still gonna have good miles on it and it's still going, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Meet
Yeah.
somebody's needs and get them through whatever times they going through or anything like that. That's just how I think about it. Like I don't I don't look at myself as just selling cars. Like I look
Mm-hmm.
at myself as I mean, I'm a salesman, but at the end of the day, being as though I'm also the owner, I look at it as like my name's on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's more than just, oh, I work at a dealership, sell this car, if something happened to it. It don't matter to me. I'm not the owner of this. I'm not a worker. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I mean? Fine line. Like that's me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everybody might not know that, but that's me. So it's like I look at it like my name's on this. So I want to make sure this person, yeah, they bought a car for me. I want them to tell their family, yo, listen, I bought this car 4 years ago and it's still running great. Go over the fine line and see them. Like that's the reputation I want to make. So when I, you know, like go up more, start getting employees, and I'm gonna pass you know what I mean? I'm gonna pass
Mm-hmm.
that same stuff down to them. Like, this is what we stand for here. So this is what we're gonna go by. Because at the end of the day, your name take you a long way, like very long way. And I learned
That
that.
reputation.
Yeah,
So you spoke about, people, getting cars from here, and then 4 years later, yo, my car's still running good. Go with a fine line. That reflects a good customer experience. I talk about that a lot to people.
yeah, for sure.
That can make or break a business. Your customer experience and your customer service, they go hand in hand. So it's good that you even, have stuff like that set
Yeah.
up. So, when it comes to having returning customers, what is one thing that you do, or one thing that you try to show them that would make them want to come back and recommend another person to you?
Yeah. I mean, we got little incentives and stuff like, if you buy a car from here, we give referrals.
Hmm.
Depending on like if it's like a cheaper car, it'll probably be like $50. But anything like one of the newer cars, we'll give $100 refer to whoever sent. As long as they mention you. And then
Yeah.
also we got stuff like free car washes and everything like that.
Hmm.
So it's just we try to make it, and then especially too, like I've had families that came to me, but mom bought a car, dad bought a car, daughter,
Hmm.
son, like literally whole family. So when I get them type of repeating customers, like it be times where even if I ain't really making much on the car, I'ma still sell it to them because they've been supporting me and they keep coming back. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You gotta
Loyalty.
look out for, yeah, you gotta
Hmm.
look out for people like that. Sometimes it's worth more than just the money that's coming in and everything like that.
Hmm.
You know.
No, that's a fact. So, I mean, like the business, it looks like it's doing pretty good right now. What's the next step? with the business? Like, are you trying to scale out? Do you want it to be something that's more local? Like, what exactly is your
Um,
vision with it, or do you want to use it to pivot to something else?
I mean, my vision right now, what it is, because I would say like the last 2 years, it's been more so like just me here. Like I've had like office people work the office. Right now I got a detailer. He's been with us for. I always got a, I always seem to have a good detailer that's with me for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel as though my biggest thing now is like I've been down. I ain't gonna say downsizing, but like I've been narrowing down with a lot of stuff. 'Cause, like I got the towing,
Mm-hmm.
I got the, like real estate. So I've been like trying to focus on the car thing more and
Mm-hmm.
get it to the point where I can pull myself out of it. Like still oversee it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like at least have like one or two salesmen to the point where I can pull myself out and start putting more of my time into real estate,
Mm-hmm.
putting more of my time into scaling out the towing business. Like that's just where like this is the foundation of everything though. So that's why
Yeah.
like I treat it the way I do, because this is what allowed me to be able to buy real estate. This is what allowed me to be able to buy tow trucks and everything. Like this is really what started everything. So
So, and it's crazy because a lot of people when they start businesses and they start to make a little bit of money, they automatically take that money, they go buy Palm Angels, or they go buy another
yeah,
nice car, something like that. You know, really the goal should be take the money from that business, invest it in another business that generates income, and then
exactly.
use that money to a little bit of that money, not all of it, use a little bit of that
Yeah,
money to, now you could treat yourself, buy some things you like. So I like the fact that you're talking about how you take money from here and then you can use it towards real estate.
exactly.
I read something that said like most millionaires in the US are millionaires from real estate.
Listen,
So, I mean,
even if you look around right now, that's like we got people in the city now that's doing real estate. If you pay
mhm,
attention, you'll see like, and it's more than just like real estate. You get like whenever you own businesses and stuff, and you own real estate, it can help you out with tax breaks. Like this is like stuff that
yeah,
you
it's
you
next
just
level.
gotta be knowledgeable of. Like it's the next
Yeah.
level. Like you're not gonna know this stuff unless you do your own homework. Yeah, somebody can
Hmm.
tell you, but people don't tell you that so and so got 50 doors, but them
Hmm.
50 doors is breaking him on them taxes every year and saving him because he got this here. He might have made something $1 million, but he
Yeah.
spent this much too though. So you gotta understand like it's not avoiding taxes, it's just playing the game smart and
Hmm.
knowing what's legal to do tax breaks and all that. Cause yeah, you
Hmm.
might say you generated this much money, but yeah, I also spent this much money too. So this is how
Hmm.
much I really made.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing. Like I tell people, like it was a point of time when I first, this is like in the early years of my business, I started to see it grow. And believe it or not, I started saving money more because I started getting in like a panic mode. I'm like, yo, this is going too good. Like if this junk crash, like it's over for me. Like, but that mindset, like I really wasn't spending money on nothing. Like every single dollar, like I was watching it because I'm like, yo, like I'm
Hmm.
making money. Like I wasn't never really made money like this. So
Yeah.
when you do start making it, I wasn't. Yeah, I could have been buying stuff, which I was buying stuff, but
Hmm.
a lot of percentage of it, I was putting it back into the business. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then eventually I scaled up, moved to a bigger spot, started buying newer cars, got finance. Like when I first started, like the first year, 2 years, I didn't even have financing. I was all cash deals with it. So
Hmm.
it's like I finally scaled up and stuff. But I definitely what you said, like a lot of people they start a business, they start generating money and they be quick to spend the money. Like you gotta
Hmm.
see it before you get it for real. Some people
Hmm.
spending it before they even get it. So it's like,
It's a fact.
you know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
because you know stuff's coming, but it's like, yo, you get 1 or 2 slow months, like your business should have money, not your money. Like you shouldn't have to
Hmm.
take money from your personal accounts to cover your business. Like your
Hmm.
business should have its own money,
That's
which
a fact.
that's another story too. Like it's
Hmm.
just, I mean, I could go on for days with it, but it's just knowledge, bro. You gotta talk to people that's ahead of you. You gotta, like, I read books
Hmm.
and stuff. Like you just really gotta acknowledge yourself, especially when you trying to go get to a certain place. Like
Hmm.
sacrifice, knowledge yourself, bro. That shit, it'll come for sure.
And I believe all successful entrepreneurs have a certain mindset that yeah, like you could have been born with, but we train this mindset every day, like you said, books, videos, and stuff like that. So how do you train your mindset? You know, when you have like you have your own time to yourself, and this is probably where you read the books, you
Yeah,
watch certain things, or you might reach out to a certain person, ask them a question about something
yeah.
that be going through. So
I
what
mean,
does your time look like when
I
you
pretty
doing that?
much, well, when I first, a lot of people don't know this about me, but when I first before I started the car business, like my first job, when I graduated high school, my first job was at Brenner Nissan.
Mm,
I was just in a regular car wash. Then I
mm,
moved like to the body shop. That's how I learned how to detail cars. I ain't know nothing about, I mean, I clean cars, but when
yeah,
I really learned how to detail, buff and wax a car, I worked at a dealership. And then from there, I worked at Sun Motors, Audi, and Porsche. And
mm,
after I worked there, I worked at Faulkner. You know, on a Carlisle Pike, it's Faulkner Dodge, Jeep, and all
yup,
that. I worked there. I worked at Faulkner Maserati. I worked at Turner Kia. I
mm,
worked at uh what's it, Turner Chevrolet, Volkswagen,
mm,
right there on Paxton Street. Like I knew what I was getting myself into. So it's like I was working at all them. So I knew like the parts department. Only thing I didn't
mm,
work in is sales, which
yeah,
I didn't really feel the need to, because it's kind of like common sense with the sales. I
yeah,
mean, it's all numbers for real if you really, if you go with numbers. So,
mhm,
but from parts department to everything like that, I didn't been in it. So it's like when I came to do my own business, I had all the sources that I needed. So it's like when I'm calling to get parts for my cars, I'm not calling the dealer. I'm calling the source that, you know what I mean? Like
call they
you just
call.
gotta like really have a plan and put it in place and know what you know what I mean, what route you going for real.
Mhm. So when new people come in to the lot, what are some things that these people should consider, you know, before even buying a car? You know, what are some things that they should really have in place before even coming to, check out a vehicle or make that first
Um,
purchase?
I mean, you go on our website, check and look.
Hmm.
Most people be coming, like most customers when I get, they be coming, they already be knowing, like, listen, this is what I got down payment and
Hmm.
everything like that. So they'll tell me, I got 2,500 down. But
Hmm.
me, being how I am, I'm trying, if I can get you in it for 15 down and save you some money, that's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm here to
Yeah.
make your experience better and help you out at the end of the day. Like I'm not trying to hit you over the head and you
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like I know how it'd be hard times for people too. So that's kind of too how my business is based. Like I help a lot of people that be in hard times and they be like
Hmm.
really thankful. You know what I mean? They be thanking me for it.
And I mean, that's that. I mean, it all goes back to the customer experience, and that's like real important. And that's why, you keep doing that. I think you should keep doing what you're doing. So when people come in, you know, how, what's the ratio look like between people who flat out buy the used cars versus the people that decide to finance? And which one do you think is better for a person to do? Do you think it's better to, you know, finance a car, or do you think it's better to just buy the car out? What do you think is a better solution for a person just coming to when they
Um,
get a car?
I mean, it's all based off of the position that that person's in.
Hmm.
Like some people finance, some people buy flat out. Like I'm gonna be real. Like there's times where somebody might come, a car might be at 15, 16,000 out there, and somebody they come cash it out. So it's like I don't
Hmm.
really judge the customer off of buying it cash or financing. Like it's based
Hmm.
off of I don't know everyone's living. Whenever they fill out that application, the only information I know off of your living is how much you make at your job and your credit for real. That's it. I don't know what else you got going on in your life or anything like that. So, you know what I mean? Based off the application, I pretty much know my banks and stuff and see what I can do and then go from
Hmm.
there. But it'd be a mixture. Like most of the cheaper stuff, like people they just I just need something back and forth. I got 5 grand. Most of
Hmm.
them cheaper cars people will buy cash, and then most of this stuff that's like 15 grand and up people financing, or 10 grand and up people financing. But it's just a
Hmm.
mixture. So I would just say it's half and half, honestly.
And you work with different people based on their situation and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You try and make it work out rather than just be like, nah, I can't do nothing with you, and then
yeah.
they gotta,
I mean, there is sometimes
yeah,
where it be at that point where I'm like, I can't do, and that's when
yeah,
I recommend them. Like, listen, you got you know what I mean, you got $4 grand you was gonna put down, but
Mhm.
sometimes these banks, like if you done got too many repos or if you done ran off on too many people, they ain't for it. They don't care if you got 10 grand down. They're
Yeah.
like, yo, we done repo 3 cars from you. Like we tired of,
3 repos is crazy,
yeah,
yo.
like we tired of risking our money. Like, which that's like same thing you would do if somebody, same person keep coming to you for a loan and they done burnt you 3 times. You be like,
Yeah,
yo, I'm not giving you no money.
that's
Like,
a
it's
fact.
that's just what it gets to at a point where some people, so the bank don't be caring how much money you got down. Like and then once your credit get to that point, that's why I be, I keep cheaper cars too. Like, well, listen, I got this car, you got 5 grand. This car is only 3,800.
Mhm.
Got a little bit of miles on it, but it's cheap, reliable. There you go. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro,
Oh
man.
yeah, no problem for
Definitely like
sure.
taking time out your day. I like to highlight, people that really do what they say they do.
Yeah, I
I feel like over
appreciate it.
quarantine, a lot of, you know, quote unquote
Yeah,
business people came out of nowhere, and I don't know. For me, it's a little frustrating because like I spoke to somebody like last month, right? So they come through, uh, you know, ask me certain questions because I own a marketing agency, so people come to me. I explain certain things to them. They talking about LLCs and everything, and I just see a lot of people have like bad information
yeah,
from people online. That, so it's nice to see that you doing what you're doing and you actually studied the game.
yeah.
And even like going back to you working at the different places like Faulkner and Nissan and everything.
Hmm.
Like what people don't realize is that's you putting yourself in your own internship in a way
For sure.
because you kind of you put yourself in a
Yeah,
situation where you're able to learn this department, that department. Of course you're getting paid for it and everything, but that's like your version of really going to
yeah.
school. You know what I'm
And I
saying? So
still like now. I still, I still read stuff like on my Instagram and stuff. I follow
hmm
like car gurus, like dudes that's of that level I'm trying to get to. You just
hmm
like I follow the market. I know when the market's changing, when prices like that's just stuff like no matter what business you in, you gotta like everything changes. Like the
yeah,
world we live in now, everything's changing like as the day. Like you got people making millions off of phones and stuff like
hmm
what they call it, content creators and
yeah,
everything like that. Like
that's a
you
fact.
just everything changes by the day. Like you never know. Like I'm sure you know information that I don't know, and I'm sure I got stuff that you don't know. So it's like
hmm
you just want to kind of align yourself with people that's really serious about their dreams and where they going and what they trying to do. Like yeah,
hmm
anybody can talk that business stuff, but you gotta really like that's like me now. Like when I talk to certain people, like within like 5 minutes, depending on how our conversation goes, yo, I can really tell like if I even need to be around you or talking to you. It's nothing personal. It's just that I know
hmm
where I'm going.
That's a fact.
So like you know where you going, I know where I'm going, and where I'm going might not align up with that. So I'm not gonna throw
hmm
myself off. So I'm gonna stay on this path because I'm gonna run into more people. Like you always gonna run into somebody that's bigger than you or trying to get to where you gotta get. And them is the ones that you wanna talk to. Even
hmm
if you got it, pay for their time. I done paid for some of them entrepreneurs class. I done paid for them, but I done paid for people's time too. Like that, I know they got dealerships and they at that level. I'm like, yo, listen, I know you a busy man. Hey, can I take you out to lunch? Matter of fact, here go 500 too for your time. Like
That's a
you
big.
just gotta
Mhm.
like it might sound crazy, but that's what it is. You gotta understand.
But you got to do it. You got to ask a question. Like it's like I was working at an ad agency in New York 2 summers ago. I want to say, yeah. So these guys, we work with Instagram, Uber, Kraft. Like I'm talking like some of the biggest brands in America, bro. CEO comes through. He has a little, I'm an intern. He has a conference, comes
Yeah,
through, speaks to us like all as a group and everything, tells his story, and I'm like, this guy, like he made it, bro. Like,
yeah.
bro, if we have a building, right around the corner from Wall Street, bro. Like,
Oh
come on.
yeah.
Like this
Man.
guy, he's obviously a
Yeah.
millionaire, bro,
Yeah,
and he's
he own
done
what
it.
he own. Yeah.
His first deal was with Adidas, bro. Adidas is one of the
Oh yeah.
clients. So I'm like, this might be a wild thought. I'm gonna go set up a meeting with him. The
Yeah.
worst somebody could say to me is no. And
No.
if you tell me no, you're not hurting my feelings because I've been through worse.
And not even that. You understand, you see that they got something going on. Like
Mhm.
like you said, I mean, that's how it comes down to, like, with family and stuff. Like, people might think like, oh, he growing, he think he better. No, it's just y'all still on what y'all on from 2-3 years ago. I ain't on that. I'm grown. So the
Yeah.
people that's supposed to fall in my life or align, they gonna come as you going on your journey. And I always tell people that too. Like, stop trying to save people. Stop trying to keep people around for, like, they, trust me, they see you. Believe it or not, you might want them to come along, but if it don't, that just ain't what it
That's
is. Like,
yeah.
you got to keep it going.
That's like a
Just,
learning
it's
experience right
nothing
there.
personal. It's just, I still love you, still make sure you're cool, make sure you're straight, but I can't stay stagnant right here. I gotta keep going where I'm going. That's just
a
what
fact.
it is at the end of the day.
I appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
Anytime,
Real rap.
man.
Hustle Top Podcast. Tune in. Yeah, we got more episodes coming up, so definitely stay tuned.